Hello, beautiful people. Honest Am here, the creator and writer of the Honestly Sis newsletter, and I am here for another P-Vally review. This is season 2, episode 2, 7 Pounds of Pressure. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. Now, if this was an official companion piece podcast with Stars and Katori Hall giving me their blessing, we would have on this week Richard Valette. I think that's his name. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that last name correctly. It's Vialet. He's a cinematographer. So a cinematographer is like pretty much like all the scenes and stuff that we see, like the visual effect of the film that cinematographer is responsible for, like the lighting and how it comes across and what it makes us feel. Like he's responsible for all of that. So I will have him on this week to discuss some of the amazing lighting, some of these amazing scenes. I would love to talk about the club scene. Wait, before we even get to the club scene, I would start off with that scene with with Little Murder and Uncle Clifford and Grandma. Oh wait, look, y'all, this week I have my laptop so I can just go here when I want to know. So Loretta Devine is called Ernestine. So when Ernestine was talking to Little Murder, and just like how we were able to just see very clearly that Little Murder could see Uncle Clifford in the mirror, but then it was also like he was in the shadows, but you could still see his face. Like it was just such a beautifully shot scene. So I would love to talk to him about that. Of course, I would love to talk about the club scene when we finally get to meet the new dancers and just, the earth, wind, and fire and how those lights were going, and also like how do they get like when the camera, maybe we need to have the camera guy on, so maybe not this episode, but I would love to talk to him about that. And then the very last thing that I would like to talk to Richard about is of course the party scene for Uncle Clifford's surprise party. Just because it was just so colorful, but it was also dark at the same time. And then you know how people in Hollywood used to play black people talking about we don't know how to be lit properly, but we were just so beautifully lit, and it was just such a visually stunning episode. Like this was we just started, but so far this is like one of my favorite episodes of the season. So that is who I would have on. I would have Richard. We will go into a segment, talk to him in the first half of the episode, and then for the second half, I will have, this is going to be a surprise, I will have Erica. I don't know how to pronounce her real name. I just literally just looked at it and then forgot it that fast. So I would have Haley, Autumn Night. I would have her come on, just because I felt like this was a little bit of her episode. She was, stepping up as the new owner of the Pink. She's the one who changed these dates, and so I would just really bring her into this episode to just talk to her about, of course, the development from season 1 for season 2. What is she looking forward to for her character for season 2? Also to just wonder, maybe if she could tell us, how is she dealing with, losing Montavious? How does her character feel internally? Like, what is her internal dialogue with that? Like, is there relief or is there fear? And then I will also want to talk to her about, in this episode, she was also talking about how Angel number 335, how her character kind of missed being at the Pink and dancing and stuff like that. So I will have all of those discussions with her, and that will be our 2 guests for the episode. Also, a little surprise, a little trivia. Did you know that she was the waitress in Harry Potter Half-Blood Prince? Yeah, pretty cool, right? All right, so let's just go ahead and get into this episode. This episode was all about the grand reopening of the Pink. Also, the grand reopening of life. Like, I felt like everybody is, now that the city is opening it back up, the restrictions are are going away. Like, everybody is trying to get back to some type of normalcy. We see Little Murder and them really trying to, no longer trying, but they're actually putting together everything for this Dirty Dozen tour. Of course, I told you at the Pink, we're doing auditions. We're bringing some new girls in. And then the very last thing was the Pink, the auditions, and I think that's it. This is the pink and the like, because this was pretty much an episode that was all about the pink. Also, another shout out to you again, Katori. Like, a great opening scene. Like, I don't know you and your openers, but you don't miss. Like, I just thought that was a very, very cute opening scene with that. I love that song because she thick, and it was like so cute that if you go back and watch the episode, you will see like all the people that Uncle Clifford talked to were like eventually the people who were going to be on our cast. So this episode we had we had the auditions, and we got us 3 new girls. We have Roulette, we have Whisper, and then we also have Mama Big Bone. So those are our new girls being added to the cast. Let's go ahead and get into the themes of this episode. Angel number 540. So the themes of the episode is surprises, ghost, and mirror. Really, really good. So, of course, the first surprise is Autumn surprising Uncle Clifford by changing the date to the grand reopening. She didn't know that she changed the date on Uncle Clifford's birthday, but Uncle Clifford is really not feeling his birthday. He's turning 40 and he's just like not feeling it. And I think, if you've ever had like a big birthday, like I was really, really nervous about turning 30. And so like, it's just like, you think when you were younger, you had all of these, milestones of like, oh, when I graduate college, I'm going to get engaged. And then by 30, I'll be pregnant. And by 40, I'll be in this amazing career and life will be good. And, you have all these things you think life, or you have this idea of how you think your life is supposed to be. And then there's the reality of what your life is. And so Uncle Clifford is just dealing with like all of that stress, of course, like, and on top of coming out of COVID. So I could just imagine it's just a lot. Like he just probably, he probably thought he would be further along in life by now, but he's like, I don't even own my club no more. I'm living at home with my mama, my grandma, and like I ain't got no dick. Like, so like he's just really in his feelings, and like Haley springing that on him at the last minute was not something that he needed. Like it really fucked him up. But the good thing is that because, I'm not even gonna get into that. Well, I guess I will. Because she sprang that on him, he was able to he was at home, and he just happened to be at home when Little Murder stopped by. And Little Murder stopped by to just let him know that he was going on a tour, and he just wished that he would have did things differently. And let me tell you, I think his name is Alfonso, who the actor for Little Murder. This nigga is acting his ass off. Like oh my God, I'm gonna wait because this is also going into another thing. But when I tell you that actor is acting his ass off, like he just, I hope people are paying attention, because I just have a feeling like he's gonna be one of them actors. Like, let's keep our eye on this one. Bookmark that. Let's keep our eye on Alfonso, because he's a motherfucking actor. Because like it was just like awe in his eyes, and like the moment that he saw Uncle Clifford, it was just like, like you could just tell like his heart was just like, oh my God, I want this motherfucker. But anyways, acting his ass off. Let's keep going. The last surprise I want to say, the surprise with Little Murder. So going from that scene, Little Murder body manager, what is his name? Is he a recurring character or a main character? Okay, Little Murder. Okay, y'all, I'm not gonna do this. Oh yeah, Woody. So Woody surprises Little Murder by getting him security, and he takes him pretty much to this prison. And Little Murder was like, "What is this? Like, you trying to show me like how far I came?" And come to find out, he is getting his friend out, or picking his friend up. His name was Big. Is it Big Twerk or Big Tech? Big T. I'm just gonna call him Big T. Went to pick him up, and he was going to be his security guard or whatever. Now, I want to put a bookmark, because it was just something, like I was telling you, Alfonso be acting his ass off. It was just something in his face that made me like, I feel like he was emotional and happy to see him, but then also at the same time, like, what the fuck? Like, it was just like this what the fuck look on his face. And so I think we need to bookmark it. Like, I just feel like, getting somebody straight out of jail and then trying to take them on a road trip is not the best idea. Like, Woody, what type of management are you doing, nigga? Like, this just don't make sense. Like, you just literally just pick this nigga up from the jailhouse and just gonna take him on tour? And then talk about he's security? Like, do we think he's ready emotionally for this? like, why would you think this is a good idea? So anyways, bookmark that, because I don't trust it. Like, it's something about that look on Little Murder face that I was just like, I don't know how I feel about that. You know, like, I'm like, I don't trust this man. I don't trust Big T. I'm sorry. I'm not, no, I got cousins that's in jail, so no, nothing against the evicted, incarcerated, but I just don't trust that motherfucker. So we gonna keep our eye on him. All right. Last thing on this theme of surprises is Andre being surprised when he was coming back from I forgot where the hell Andre is coming from now. So we know now that Andre is still in town until the wheel is going to be read. And Andre comes back to the house and he finds that like water hoses are like all of these water hoses are being ran across the street. And he pretty much finds out that his uncle has been paying the neighborhood water bill because people have been behind and all of this stuff. And like, I think he was using like city funds to pay his to pay his water bill, and his water bill was like $10,000, which is like, what the fuck? Like, that's a lot of goddamn money. And so like, Andre was like this Robin Hood motherfucker. And so I kind of feel like, this is kind of getting into some predictions, but I just really feel like Andre is going to run for mayor. And I feel like Andre, I feel like he feels that, he needs to honor Tydell's legacy. Like, I think we're learning from when like he discovered that tape that, Tydell was like more of a father to him than his father was. And I feel like, we all have certain people in our lives where, whether it is, an actual family member, or if it's just like, that teacher, or just, a friend or whatever, who just speaks life into you and who can see, who you want to be on the inside, the stuff that you're afraid to say, but they speak it to you and it makes you feel confident to go on that path. And we realized that when he went back to, he was looking at these old videos, and I think it was his dad being like, he's like, what do you want to be growing up? And he was like, Spider-Man. And then, he's like, no, tell me what you really want to be. And he's like, I want to be the president of the United States. And his dad's like, you can't do that shit. And he was like, shut the fuck up. Which I'm like all for people like that. Like, I wish we had more of our elders being like, shut the fuck up. That kid can do whatever the fuck he want to do. But anyway, so I feel like Andre is going through like this, of course he's grieving, but I also feel like he's having like this awakening, realizing that, maybe, and I think that we've all, well, not we all, but I know I have, you have a certain, when you were younger, you have a certain way that you want to live your life. Like, I know when I was growing up, I wanted to be an actress, that was my thing. And, as I was, and when I was in elementary school, I used to do like the school plays and all of that stuff. But then, you grow up. And then when I was about to go to college, I literally was going to major in theater. And my mom was like, that's not realistic. Like, you need to get a realistic major. And then I started being an accountant. And then I forgot all about, this acting path. And so, I got my 2 degrees, and then I got a job in public accounting, and it sucked. It was like, this is the worst shit ever. I ended up losing a job, which was, thank God I lost that job, and I started to write my book, and then I just started to, unearth and remember that, oh, I was always creative child, because that was also another thing. Like, when I started writing, I felt like, an imposter, because I'm like, oh, well, I'm supposed to be this accountant, and now I'm writing. And so I say all that to say that I feel like Andre has lost his way. I feel like Andre, he forgot about that little boy who wanted to be the president. He forgot about that little boy who wanted to lead a community. And I think with Tydell passing, it's reminding him of all those things and all of those dreams that he had as a kid. So, and I also feel like that's surprising to him. Like, I don't think that, I think when he went back to Chuckalissa, it was really just to show his respect, and to, like, bury his goddad, like, just ultimately bury his goddad. But what he's finding is that, he is connected to this community, and he does care about this community. And I think that's gonna, like, take him on a whole nother path. Angel number 1435. Let me hurry up. Next thing is Ghost. This is a really funny theme. I think we noticed that a ghost, when Uncle Clifford, it's his birthday, he really don't want to do shit, and then like Ernestine was sitting in the living room, and like it was like in the window, it was a ghost face mask, and all of his friends had the ghost face mask, and we know that they used that to kidnap him, to also to transport him to the surprise party. Now, I feel like this is like a stretch, but I'm gonna throw it out there anyway. Uncle Clifford getting kidnapped, that just feels like some foreshadowing. Like I don't know like what's gonna happen, but I don't know. Like I know that she did that to, illustrate him being transported to, his birthday party, but just for how it was shot, I'm like, I don't know. It just feels like some foreshadowing. So bookmark that. The next thing about the ghost, of course, the Paradise Room. When Roulette and Whisper and Mercedes, they're getting ready to start doing their dances. And they're like in the other room, trying to do the count and all this other stuff. And then that little hanging pole just starts swaying. And like, I think, we're starting to, Katori is starting to, add in all of these spiritual aspects, which they've always been there since the beginning of the episode. I mean, since the beginning of the show with, crystals and all of this other stuff. So it's like, I don't understand why we're like, oh my God, where's this coming from? And also this is episode 2 of season 2. So which means we're getting deeper into this world. So if she's gonna start adding more hoodoo and magic, she should do it now versus later on. So it's like, I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyways, so we know that the Paradise Room is haunted. That goes with the ghost theme. Also, this is like, because I didn't know where to add this in. But Mercedes, remember when they were doing an audition, Mercedes had she saw a vision, and it was actually that exact vision of, Roulette and Whisper just tearing the club down, everybody throwing the money and all of this stuff. But I also feel like that was a warning. Like she saw it so clearly, and she got excited, but as she was going throughout those days, she had, second thoughts, and I feel like it was her intuition talking to her, trying to remind her of something. So that's just throwing that in there. Uncle Clifford, another thing about the ghost thing, when Uncle Clifford was at the party, he thought that he saw a little murder at the party. And, that just happens when, you miss somebody and you see them, or you think you see their car and all of that stuff. So that goes with the ghost theme. And then the very last thing about the ghost theme is seeing Montavious at the very end of the episode when Haley end up getting kicked out of Mercedes' house, and she end up going back to the Pink. She hears a noise, and as she's going back out to go, well, maybe she don't hear a noise, but as she's going back out to the stage, we can see in the monitor that Montavious popped up in the Paradise Room. So I don't know what it's like. We just really have to keep our eye on Montavious. And remember, 1808, that nigga is working in the spiritual world. I don't know what's going on, but we have to keep our eye on Montavious. So that is for that theme of ghosts. Now, for our very last theme of mirrors, we have, of course, when Little Murder dropped by to see Uncle Clifford, and then that whole beautiful scene of I feel like, Little Murder he was going to be very lighthearted and fun when he saw Ernestine, but when he saw Uncle Clifford in that mirror, his shit, he completely shifted, and then he just stopped talking to her and started talking to Uncle Clifford. And just being honest with him about it. So I thought that was just first of all, a visually stunning scene, and also both of them, all those actors acted their ass off. It was so good. Even down to Loretta Devine being Amazon dropping dick off right at your mouth. And also I just want to, it's our pride. We just, you would think, and they talked about this at the Uncle Clifford party, with COVID and everything going on, you would think with something so traumatic happening to the world, it would help us realize that we don't have a lot of time. Time doesn't matter, but we don't have a lot of it. And not even a lot of it, it's just our time is limited. So it's why waste time being away from somebody that you genuinely love? And anyways, whatever. we all know this is for the fucking writing, because eventually they gonna get back together. I already know it. Like, that ain't even a prediction. Like, that's just natural. That's storytelling. Like, and they just building it up to where when that moment actually happened, we just all be like, ah! Angel number 1945. Last thing. Oh, two things. When they were playing the game of murder, remember when Keyshawn had Guap? Little Mr. Petite. I love him for some reason. When he had him drop by the house to kind of like convince Derek into letting her go on a Dirty Dozen tour, and then Keyshawn was like did some Jedi mind trick shit on him, and then like when he got back in the car, Little Murder winked at Big T, and then he ended up passing out, and he like passed out right, they're in the coffin, and it was like this mirror above. So again, the whole theme about mirror. The very last thing before Keyshawn did her final effort about, her final ditch effort to get Derek to allow her to go on this Dirty Dozen tour, she looked in that mirror to kind of summon the courage to be able to do this. And the reason why this mirror theme is so important is because in the spiritual world, or in magic period, we equate mirrors to portals, and like to looking into a new reality, diving into deeper. And so Katori used this element and this theme of mirrors to like let the audience visually know that we're teleporting into a different type of show. We're moving beyond the veil. And so that's why it made sense that by the end of this episode, we are in this different type of world. We're seeing a new reality, and that's the reality of where sometimes when you're having physical pain in your body, that physical pain is related to a trauma or emotional pressure that gets put into you. I am a big component of transmuting energy, and I do EFT tapping, which is like it's like an emotional freedom technique where we have different meridian points in our body where you can literally tap it and you can transmute the energy out. And the reason why it's so important is I actually have this book, and it's called The Body Keeps Score. And so we don't realize, like, we think that if you do something, you do something fucked up, beat somebody ass, you shoot somebody, stuff like that, you feel guilty about it. Yeah, you feel the guilt, but then that guilt transmute into energy, and then it puts like this stagnancy into your body. And so just like how Mercedes, she couldn't, like, she had this weight in her shoulder, and she was no longer able to do what she could do effortlessly. And we thought maybe it was a torn shoulder, maybe it was this, but no, it was because of the guilt that she was carrying from taking a life. And also, they did it to where they was like the 7 pounds of pressure. Exactly, the 7 pounds was like equated to the pressure that it takes to pull a gun. And maybe I don't know about that. Like, I don't know if that's true or false, but I was also thinking that maybe that was like a part of Montavious, like his spirit is clearly restless in that paradise room. And I thought like maybe a part of him leached onto her, because they also say that our soul weighs a certain amount of, I think they say our souls weigh 7 pounds. Let me look. I know that that's like an actual fact somewhere. Like, I think maybe it's not 7 pounds or 3.5 pounds or something like that. I do want to see, like, that's why I shouldn't have this thing here, because now it makes me just want to look stuff up. But anyway, so I say that to say that what I have realized, and you guys can go look at my Honestly Sis archive, go look at these videos on my channel. The ailments and the pain and the trauma that we go through, though it happens on an emotional level, energetically, it stores in our body. And if we don't transmute that energy or do energy work, we just keep all that shit in us. And like, I am a witness that I have gotten Reiki healings. I have gotten my chakra balances. Like, I've done so much energy work to where I'm getting ahead of myself. There was a point in time where I couldn't even remember certain memories. And your body does that to protect you, whether it is good memories or bad memories. And recently, after I have like done all of this energy work, I like just remembered this like amazing night, this amazing weekend I had with this guy one time. And I'm like, why didn't I remember that? And again, it's just because when you have so much trauma and so much, heavy stuff on you, resentment, betrayal, hurt feelings from your parents, like that, it blocks you. It blocks you even from the good stuff. And so this show is showing you how you may think, oh, I just did that in public. Oh, I'm playing this dude, or I killed somebody and nobody knows. But that shit weighs on you. Literally, it weighs on you. And this show is just showing you that we have to learn to transmute it. A lot of us are so uncomfortable. A lot of us are unable to get to the life of our dreams because we're so stuck in our past. And the reason why we're so stuck in our past is because our body is living in it. The trauma is in our body, and every time we move out in the world and we don't transmute that, we get triggered, and then we keep staying in that same age and that same place over and over again. That's why you see older people who are like little bitty ass kids, and that's because they weren't able to emotionally evolve to get beyond and to grow into who they ultimately could be. So I'm so happy, so happy that we were able to like see this, and I'm so excited to see where the rest of the season is going to go. So let's just go ahead and wrap this up. My key takeaway. The key takeaways of this episode is, of course, everything that I literally just said before, not realizing that certain traumas that we go through actually stores energy in our body that does not only like physically hurts us and pulls us down, but mentally and spiritually keeps us in prison. So a good way to like transmute energy is to just start journaling, to start doing yoga, to start doing these EFT tappings, to look into some Reiki healings. Black people, now look, I'm sorry if you are a white person watching this, please don't get offended. But I just feel Black people don't have white people putting your hands on them. There are Black Reiki healers out here. There's Black energy healers. Find you a Black person to put some hands on you. I'm just very like, I don't play with that. Like I'm very, very, you don't want to play with your energy. You don't want to play with your energy. So don't just, use your discernment. But if you feel called to, reach out to me. If you're like, oh, I'm interested in that, but I don't know any outlets. I'm located in Detroit, so I can tell you some people that I know. I do know about, I know a couple of people who do distant Reiki that can kind of heal you from a distance. So if that's something you're interested in, but you just don't know the avenues, definitely go ahead and I have, if my email address is not on the website, just drop your comment in the comment section down below and I'll send you a follow-up email so I can give you some of those resources, because I just feel like all Black people, like we all should do this. We all have to get into this energy game. Like because it's all energy. And once you can clean up your energy and get rid of all of that bullshit, then you can vibrate and get to the life that is truly meant to you. So that is my takeaway for that. Last thing, play a role. Like this episode is all like, Mercedes probably wouldn't have fell off that pole if Autumn wasn't Russian. Autumn tried, like, I don't know, I just feel like, and then Autumn was trying to act like Uncle Clifford, talking about some, Uncle Clifford rule, da da da. They like, girl, you ain't Uncle Clifford. Like, this episode, it just shows what happened when you don't know how to play your role. But then it also shows when you do know how to play a role, and like how Keyshawn has like this quiet power to her, where she saw that information of where he didn't get the job, and instead of just putting it up or saying it to him, she put that information in the back of her mind, and like she didn't have to. I really thought she was gonna be like sneaking out and running out her house, leaving, but no, like she got it in a way to where she saw some information that was useful to her. And then she manipulated the situation. And it also taught me that power is quiet. Like, I think we in this day and age, we think power is like big and boastful, but quiet is subtle. Real power is subtle and a little manipulative. And I'm so proud of me, Mississippi, because the biggest surprise of this whole episode was that she got her ass out the house and she is going on a Dirty Dozen tour. So I am so excited about that. Very last segment, dear Katori. Hi, Katori. How are you, mama? I hope you are well. I just want to thank you. Oh, my rating for this episode. If this was legendary, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Okay? I mean, nasty. Like, from the beginning to the end, this was a perfect episode. Your actors, your lighting, your storyline, like, perfect, perfect, perfect. Like, I love me a little dance number. And when they bop down to, like, Uncle Clifford party and, like, you know, where the money reside, when he started doing that popping, I'm like, bitch, I know that's right. Like, 10, 10, 10. Perfect, seamless episode. I mean, oh my God. And where did you find these actors, girl? Like, you need to kiss your casting director, because all of them are just acting their ass off, and I just believe them, and I just want to, oh my God, it was just so good. But anyways, I just want to thank you for bringing hoodoo and voodoo and magic, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I know I say that with respect and love, but I just thank you for putting this on the big screen to show our people that this is ours. This is our sacred practice that was beaten and stolen from us, and that we have to reclaim it. And I'm happy. Like, I told you I'm a writer. You're inspiring me, because I'm about to I'm doing all types of magic, spirituality shit in my writing, and seeing you just encourages me. And, like, I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Like, this is episode 2. If you were about to start having half of the episodes be like this, I don't care. Like, you set up the foundation. You let us know that this is now a possibility. And I'm looking to see where you take it. I also want to just thank you for, like, showing, like, male masculine sensitivity, and, like, with, like, Little Murder, like, in his eyes, and, like, how he was, like, about to cry, but he didn't cry. And it was just like so freaking amazing. It's like a master class. And, like, I cannot get enough of that. Like, I cannot get enough of that scene. That scene was amazing. The last thing that I would say is, like, just, you know, keep challenging us, keep pushing us forward. I'm so excited to see where the series keep going. We have 8 more episodes, but I just want you to know that this was a perfect episode. From beginning to end. I don't give a fuck about nobody think pieces. I don't give a fuck about nobody talking about, like, True Blood. I don't give a fuck about all the naysayers. I want you to know that for all of us spiritual bitches, witchy bitches, like, we were happy, we were excited, and honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I felt called. Like, I genuinely was like, when I was seeing, you know, the reactions from people, I was just like, oh, no. Like, this is why I want to review this is why I want to review this show, because we need to highlight what you're trying to tell us. We need to highlight this information that you are giving to us, and I am on your motherfucking team. I am rooting for you, and I'm gonna just keep doing this shit. Like, I'm in it to win it, and I'm not in it for anything but just to show you that I appreciate you, I see you, and I love you. All right, y'all, that is all for this Season 2, Episode 2 review of 7 Pounds of Pressure, P-Vally stars. And I will see y'all next week. Oh, a little bit of predictions. I kind of think that they gonna fuck around and sell the pink. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen to this show if they do sell the pink, but it ain't looking good. All right, y'all. You tell me, what was your key takeaways? What did you learn in this episode? Are you into hoodoo? Are you into Reiki healing? Have you heard of that? Or is this brand new? I want to know, what was your rating for the episode? How you feel about it? Let's start a conversation and become a little family. All right, y'all. That's it. That's all I have for you. I will see you next week. Also, really quickly, I don't work on time. I don't believe in time, and I just got to do my own thing. So I just ask that you go with the flow and trust that you will get these reviews when they are due to you. But I promise I'm going to do them all. All right, y'all. Love you.